You cannot go to war with an entity that you depend on for your existence. That's like our kids going to war with us in this house. What that look like? They can't tell us what to do in this house. I pay the mortgage in this house. Me and my wife run this house. The children don't own this, any of this. You're here because we allow you to stay here. You eat because we feed you. If we decide to starve you out, we gonna starve you out. So at the end of the day, you going to war with a group of people that control your economic fate and also control your access to your own self-esteem and validation is honestly almost like you trying to go to war with God. It's like you trying to go to war with your creator. Because a lot of black people were created by white people, meaning that they were created in the sense, think about it like this. When we talk about who we are and you say, well, who are you? And someone might say, well, I'm an Academy Award winning, Pulitzer Prize winning author with a degree from Yale University who is a vice president at Google. Well, all those stamps and labels that you put on yourself that validate you and make you feel important, like I'm in the NBA or whatever, all those were given to you by the oppressors who control these institutions that gave you those labels and validation that then make you feel like you are somebody. So that becomes your identity. And that's the problem. That's where your parents screwed you because you should have had your identity before they started slapping all these labels on your black ass, but you didn't have it. So you grabbed all these labels, and then sometimes we even do it when we shop for consumer items. Why is it so important for you to have Gucci on your body? Well, because that's another label that makes you feel like you're fly and you're better than other people because you've got this European man's name on your body. Don't even know the man, but you're going to give him $3,000 to have Louis Vuitton on your purse, on your pants, on your shoes, and on your hat. And then you take a picture on Instagram and you're proud of that. But when I see that, somebody like me, I see that and I say, wow, that Negro has a lot of labels. But that labeling is what impacts his self-esteem. That self-esteem, pay attention now. I hope you're getting this. Let me know if you're getting this. That creates his whole identity. So for some people, when you take away their labels, they don't just lose, like for some people, when they lose their job, they're not just losing a job. They're losing their whole existence of who they define themselves as. That's a very dangerous place to be. Let me give you a real life example. There was a guy named Vince Carter, I believe, or not Vince Carter. He played football for the University of Texas. He won the Heisman Trophy. Vince Young in the like about 06, 05, he won the national championship. He was an extraordinary player. He was amazing. And so they put him on the cover of ESPN the magazine. And I remember I saw the cover of the magazine and he said something like, I was born to play quarterback at the University of Texas. And at that moment, when I read that, because this was years ago, about 15 years ago, and I was on the faculty of Syracuse at that time, and at that moment, I felt so sorry for him. I really felt sorry for him. I said, that's amazing that it sounds to me like he's shaping a big chunk of his personal identity on football and playing for the University of Texas. I said, so if that ever gets taken away from him, you're gonna have to he's gonna have to be on suicide watch because because that'll be like losing his whole identity. So years later, this is a true story. So years later, he goes to the NFL. It doesn't go the way he thinks it's going to go. I guess he thought he's going to be the next, whatever Tom Brady is now. He thought he'd be at that level, but he wasn't. And he ends up getting cut from the Tennessee Titans, I believe. And I remember reading another report where they said that he was so depressed and sad by getting cut from the team that he drove off and they were worried. They were worried that he was going to take his own life. And in my mind, again, maybe I'm speculating on this, but I've seen this happen in so many cases, is that by taking away his ability to play football, by taking away his all, this affiliation with the NFL and all these other things, you were stripping him of his identity. You were taking away who he was as a person. And so my feeling is that with our children, and in fact, this is why in our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, we give like these little bachelor's degrees to the kids so they can identify themselves in a way that is more appropriate for what's going to actually benefit them long term. Also, in a way that other people can't just take it away from them, right?